everybody.
So welcome to our first book review of Book Review Championship according to what we have discussed just recently. We have discussed about it, if you remember, about Human Development Index. So what we are going to do is we have already classified the Human Development Index, and according to that we are going to choose the countries. Now what we have done, we are just going to share with you what we have done, and then based on that, yes, so we both are seen properly. Yeah, okay. So Human Development Index we had discussed what is Human Development Index. So education, income and health, these three vital parameters we have included in Human Development Index, and based on that the countries are ranked, and initial 26 countries from very high Human Development Index, then 26 countries from high development index, 26 countries from medium development index, and 26 countries from low Human Development Index. Why? Because we want to see all the level of literature. We want to see literature from the low HDI also, and we want to see from very high also. Now we are going to create a competition between initial 26, that is, which is the number one, Soumya?
Switzerland.
Soumya has done.
Switzerland has the highest Human Development Index in the world.
Yeah.
And in the high Human Development Index category, Mayur has taken that book.
The book from Albania. So we have a very interesting question to all of you, that what is the capital of Switzerland and what is the capital of Albania. If you know, you can put in the live chat or in the comment section. We are watching you. If you are if you are watching with us, you can put in the comment section. Later also you can put. Now what we are going to do is we are going to talk about the neuroscience aspect of what is happening with these countries. We have read this book. Soumya, you can describe your book, please.
Yes. So this book is called Why Switzerland, and it is the third edition of the book. There were previous two editions also that was written by the author Jonathan Steinberg. So just to give an idea about the author, and then I think after I talk about the author of Why Switzerland, Mayur can talk about the author of the book that he has read from Albania. So Jonathan Steinberg is a professor of modern European history at the University of Pennsylvania, and he also is an emeritus fellow of University of Cambridge. So he is an author of multiple books which talk about history, how the countries have revolutionized in the past many years, and how culture, politics, all of that come together to form who we are and what we are in the current day. So this is a book that is published by the Cambridge University Press. So Mayur, you want to talk about your book?
I am not going to talk much about the author. Why? Because I want to just tell you what is the history of this book. This book was published in 1981. The book's name is The Palace of Dreams. And in this book, the author Ismail Kadri, he has written in a very interesting manner about the history of Albania, about the current situation of Albania, and because of that, this book was banned when it was published in 1981. So this shows that how much revolutionizing this book could have been and is there right now. Also, you can read and you can see what the human beings go through in various parts of the world. And we think that our problems are big, we have so many problems, but there are problems everywhere. Problems are omnipresent. And let us dive deep into. Ismail Kadri is a versatile author. I have gone through few other articles of him also, and I feel this book review is opening both of us to a wealth of knowledge, which maybe we would have missed if we would not have decided this 52 weeks of every week one country from Soumya, one country from me, and total 104 countries we will be visiting out of 191 countries indexed in Human Development Index. So this is going to help us to enhance our knowledge about humanity at a large, because books are the representatives of the nation, books are the representatives of the culture, and I'm very much excited actually, and I'm very much excited to share all these things with all of you. So Soumya, what about Switzerland? Switzerland is the number one country according to Human Development Index. And what do you think after reading the book? Do you think that Switzerland deserves that, or you think that it's a gimmick?
No, I think so. This book is actually very heavy in content. So that is something that we both were discussing even in the morning. That it has a lot of facts, lot of information about every small region of Switzerland, how its location in the European Union itself is, and the author very nicely tells why you should read this book. Not because he's going to tell you which is the most beautiful city in the Alps that you have to visit on your next trip to Switzerland, or he does not talk about which company of Swiss chocolate is something that we should deliciously enjoy. But he takes us through a journey, a factual journey of how Switzerland came into existence in the past 1000 to 1500 years, and how all the wars that have happened over time have made Switzerland what it is at this point.
So Soumya, can you tell us there are few interesting facts which is the strength of this book, factual data.
Yes.
Few interesting facts about Switzerland,
Yeah.
which many of us might not be knowing.
Yes. So one thing definitely is about the language. So whenever we talk about any country, we talk about language. So Switzerland basically has 4 predominant languages, and the most spoken language and the core language of Switzerland is actually German. And the other second most commonly spoken and core language of Switzerland is Italian. And beyond this, they also speak Romansh. And of late, there are other languages in the last few years that have come and frequently are also being taught.
Fourth major language is French.
Fourth major language is of course French. And amongst the other languages in the last, I think 20 to 30 years, there has been a significant rise in the number of foreigners who have moved into Switzerland for work-related purposes. So therefore, English is the most common spoken 5th language at this point in Switzerland. So that I think is very interesting to know, because I think in some way, if you look at Switzerland and its size, like similarly in India, we have so many languages. I think Switzerland also, I felt like in such a small country, you have 5, 6, 10 languages that people are talking. And the hardcore Swiss basically speak something called as Swiss German. So it is German, but with some dialect of their own local practices and culture, which is called as Swiss German. And I think that is what they talk about. So I don't want to talk much about the history and the wars and the way World War II, its Switzerland's position in World War II and how it has shaped Switzerland of what it is now. But Mayur, you should, I think morning also we discussed about this, that Switzerland, if we think about its food and culture, it's well known for its chocolate, and that is because mainly the income of Switzerland is based on dairy. So it is based on cows and milk products and cheese and chocolates and everything that is derived from dairy products. So I felt it was very interesting that they import cereals. They import from other countries, and they basically thrive on selling dairy products and chocolate. Another very interesting thing I think about Switzerland is also how it has played a very strategic role for itself in politics. So when we talk about Switzerland's politics, they do not have a president or a prime minister. They actually have a council of 7 members, 7 ministers. And people can, when you go to vote, we can only put one vote. You can choose one candidate from one party and just click on that ballot, right? But in Switzerland, people can choose more than one candidate. People can choose one from this party, one from the opposition party. It's a very complex election system in Switzerland.
But very advanced.
And very advanced, definitely
very advanced.
Very
and
advanced.
It's very interesting that they include the losing party also into the ministry.
So
because people have chosen that person.
Absolutely.
And that is one very highly democratic way of elections. And based on that, we can see that they are devoted towards country building, towards advancement of the nation, rather than throwing dirt on each other.
Yes.
So it's very interesting,
Yes.
and as a neuroscientist, we are very much interested
Yes.
in understanding the complex political scenario.
Yes, and the author specifically talks about how, even though these seven ministers belong to different parties, like you rightly said, come together when they have to pass a rule or a regulation where party does not take the upper hand, the democracy and the people and
The
what the
people's
people
interest.
need and their
People's
interests are taken, are considered to be of utmost significance and importance. And one other interesting thing also was how they have rules and regulations. Mayur actually even said that even in India we have a lot of rules and regulations where we talk about, in our constitution also we have rights and duties. Even in theirs they have, but they follow it so meticulously apparently that they have rules and regulations written down even to how do we dispose plastic when we use it, how do we dispose food waste when we have generated food
Even
waste.
the dog poop also.
Even the dog poop also.
So that is something very interesting, and the interesting aspect is implementation.
And they are very proud that they are able to implement it, and every citizen looks at it as if it's their responsibility. And obviously all these small things is why it has contributed wholesomely to make Switzerland the country with the highest human development index.
So what do you think about this book? Will you recommend this book to the viewers?
To the viewers, yes.
They
I
should
mean,
read
I
this
think
book?
if people want to know more about in-depth political, geographical importance of Switzerland, economic importance of how it is contributing to the economy of the world, it is a must-read book with very enormous factual information of an author who himself is a Swiss person and who has taught Swiss students, has been through the entire technology process and how technology has influenced humanity in the last 2 decades as well. So he has talked about all of those aspects in really great depth. It is not something that you can just browse through. Definitely, it is not something like a storybook. It's not something that is having a lot of flowy kind of a story. Definitely heavy on facts and information.
It is not a
But-
storybook.
yes.
It's a factual book.
But
It's very-
definitely it is
it's
worth-
challenging to read this book.
challenging to read, but
327 pages.
yes.
Challenging to read. Very challenging to read, and it will blow your mind away. You will be wanting it to go through again and then find out more pieces of information, and then you will be interested in bringing India also. That is what is our purpose.
Yes.
That is how we started
Yeah.
this.
And
That
the
we-
author also specifically talks about how other countries who follow democracy, especially like us, in India, who are the biggest, India is the largest democracy in the world, right? So I think for us it is very important to understand how to make democracy successful. And I think this is a very good model from which we can take a lot of lessons.
Thank you
Thank
you
you.
very much, Soumya, for your insights on the book called as Why Switzerland. And we have to ask, why not India in the top of the Human Development Index? Our whole and sole goal of these videos is to create awareness about Human Development Index, how it is contributing to the the country, and how the country is contributing to the rest of the world. That is one thing. And what is the history, what is the current scenario of that country, and how we can learn from other countries and improve our situation in the table of Human Development Index. So we welcome all of you to please contribute in the comment section. Please come, share your views, share your thoughts. We have already, in the previous video of the introduction of this championship, we have requested all of you that we are going to release the name of the countries which we are going to go through in next 1 year, and we would like you to share us the books which we should be reading from those respective countries' authors.
Yes, we definitely want to have your recommendations, because we look at it from one perspective, but we are more than happy to review books that you all will suggest. So please contribute in giving us recommendations for the other countries that are coming up. And
Okay.
Mayur, over to you.
Yeah. So my when I read this book, no, when I was reading this book here, you can see here, The Palace of Dreams, okay, from Ismail Kadri. I was thinking like I will learn something in terms of some factual data as compared to why Switzerland, but this these black and white pages, no, they are more colorful. They are more colorful than our imagination. Like if you see something with your open eyes, you make out colors and all these things, and you can live. You are observing things. But when I read this book, even if I have not visited Albania, the author has been successful to make me reach there. And that is, see, my hair is right now also, I am having goosebumps after remembering all these events which have been mentioned in this book. This is actually a fiction, but in the fiction it is like reality which has been demonstrated, and the characters are similar to what the history has been, and based on that, what is the current political scenario of Albania, and based on that, what is the human consciousness suffering in Albania. Albania has a very interesting history of continuous invasion and wars and so on and so forth. Despite that, the language Albanian is there for more than 8,000 years, one of the oldest languages in the world. And
that was very interesting for me
yes,
to learn that right from the time when humans have come into existence and migrated from the African and the Asian and Southeast Asian parts of the world. It is quite interesting for me. I was quite surprised to know that, I mean, some country that we don't talk about on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's a very small country.
It is beautiful to know that its language dates back to 8,000
and
years.
The country has a lot of history, lot of painful history. The pain is demonstrated in this book. The pain is coming out from, oozing out from each and every word of this book. I would recommend you to read, because we don't understand the pain of humanity, and somewhere the books can bring us closer. We think that, oh, they are different people, but the pain and suffering is same for all of us. The pain and suffering is same. The whole idea of domination, the whole idea of oppression, the history of oppression and domination and invasion, what it has done to the human beings. Because there is one leader, there is one person, the one king or whoever it is wants to invade and win the world, but in that process there are, there is rivers of blood flowing, and in that process what happens to the overall human consciousness, overall collective consciousness, what happens, that is demonstrated in this book, and how the author has demonstrated the lead character. I don't want to go into the details of this because I don't want to reveal the story to you. Story is yours to read when you buy this book and read. The thing is that the main character is very young fellow, and he wants to prove himself. He wants to feel himself as what truly he is, but his his true existence is missing, because his country has been invaded for hundreds of years. However, still their originality is maintained in mild form, and few events happen which lead him to once again search back and get back to his originality. That is this book about. That is why what it is called as Palace of Dreams. I have few statements which are very intriguing and I would like to share with all of you. One of them is, the masses don't rule. The masses don't rule, of course, but they do possess a mechanism through which they influence all the state's affairs. So as human beings, as the masses, we are the masses, we are not the leaders as such as of now. We have the influence, and that is what we are trying to do through this channel, through these videos. We are trying to do that. We can influence the state's affairs, including its crimes also. So crimes, Switzerland, crime rate is very, very low.
Very low.
Very low. The reason behind that, the research shows that education and stable employment helps them to remain crime free.
Definitely. And I in Switzerland, another interesting thing in this aspect is also that they believe freedom for religion. So they do not practice or impose any religion specifically, and people are free to do whatever they want. And even if somebody, so they gave two case examples also, that somebody wanted to open a school for one particular religion, and the Switzerland Council of Ministers did not give approval for that, stating that this will in some way not give the freedom of thinking to people.
Yes. So preaching is not there, freedom is there. So it is bad enough when an individual life gets caught up in the mechanisms of power. Very, very interesting statement. It is bad enough when an individual life gets caught up in the mechanisms of power, when the whole nation is drawn in it, and it's a million times worse. So you just imagine the political scenario of the world, and you will realize that one person, when starts doing politics in an organization, the whole organization suffers. And if the whole nation, at every corner, people are doing politics. See, politics is a very, very interesting word, and we need to understand that politics is basically not politics. If you are coming up from a democracy, then your duty is to serve, not do politics, not do gimmicks, not do power hustle and all these things. You got the power with your talent, and with that talent you are supposed to serve
the nation,
serve the people of the nation.
Yes.
Not
use it to your advantage, or use it for unnecessary things.
That is what Albania has seen for years and years, and that is why this beautiful statement has come. We should listen to the silence. This is another very heavy statement. We should listen to the silence. When people become silent in a nation, it's dangerous. It is dangerous that when people become silent, it's dangerous, and it's not good.
Probably indicating that they have lost hope.
They have lost hope.
Yeah.
That is the neuroscience behind it. If you don't express any pleasure, it's because you are so conscious of the responsibility attached to your new duties. So the protagonist character in this book, the main character in this book is getting some responsibility. But even if he is getting the responsibility, the higher level duty and all these things, the position, higher level position, he is not happy, and his colleagues ask him that why are you not happy? Then he has written that I am not able to express the pleasure because I am very conscious of my responsibility. My position is very, very vital. This accountability is missing all across the planet. We see this accountability aspect missing.
True.
And that is why people they just start doing whatever they wish to once they gain power.
I mean, just to give one small example, last week when I was driving, I was listening to radio. Apparently, they have introduced some new scheme to give 1,500 rupees for people who are unemployed. Okay, government is going to pay 1,500 for unemployed youth, and if you've already done some graduate degree or something, you will get 3,000. So the government apparently has budgeted 1,500 crore rupees to do this
Free money.
to distribute free money to people who are unemployed. And honestly, that radio jockey who was hosting the show made a statement that wish they could use this money to create jobs and empower people.
Yes.
Exactly what you just said.
Responsibility.
Yes.
Next statement is laugh away.
Laugh away.
Laugh away.
Okay.
Laugh away means once you see that situations are not not manageable, situations are very, very dark, only thing you can do is laugh away. So as you have seen, just 2 days back I was in a very dark mood, if you would have seen, and then I just copied mimicry of somebody, and then we all both started laughing.
Yeah.
We laughed away the dark mood, and we came out of the dark mood. Great power is not founded in facts. So this is very interesting, interesting contrast. One book says that great power is not founded in facts. Another book gives facts about how great power is founded.
Yes. True.
So, however, this is very interesting, very ironic that great power is not founded on facts. I agree. Why? I agree to the facts also. I agree to this beautiful statement also. Why? Because the great power has to struggle a lot if the great power is taking the facts from the history.
True.
And history, if it is dark, if it is negative, the courage seems to be low.
True.
And if you stick to the facts that, oh, we have always lost, we have always been like this, we have always been a country of aswachhata, and
Yes.
people are
Yes.
very wild and all these things, then we cannot come up.
No.
That is why facts are also important.
Important for getting great power and progress.
Getting learning process and then
Yeah.
come out of it.
Yeah.
But to come out of that, we cannot stick to the negative facts.
Yes.
So this is a partially correct statement.
So
that
maybe
great power,
can we say that based on facts, we
Which are-
have to learn
and then
and
improvise.
improvise based on whatever is known
Improvise.
out of experience.
Yes.
And maybe not make the same mistakes.
Not make the same mistakes which previous generations have made.
So that indirectly we are giving a better history to the future.
Yes, that we are creating a better history. I think it is the world that chooses the dreams and anxieties and imaginings that ought to be brought to the surface. This is very, very dark. As a bucket draws water from a well. So the whole world, we get drawn towards various aspects, and that is what the author also wants to say here. That world chooses, collective consciousness chooses the dreams and the anxieties and all these things, and combined together, they form the reality. They bring
Yeah.
things to the surface. For example, wars. Two countries are fighting. If other countries, that is where Switzerland is very, very vital. Switzerland has the policy. Switzerland's policy is to remain neutral.
Yes.
Switzerland remains neutral. They don't want to be a part of somebody else's drama. That is what is written in this book.
Yes.
That they don't want to be a part of somebody else's drama. And how much of drama we want to do, how much of anxiety, how much of restlessness we want to bring to the surface by disturbing our neighbors, by putting terrorism, by provoking the neighbors, by unnecessarily invading the countries, so on and so forth, or by creating biological weapons, or by holding so many different kinds of heavy weapons. So this anxiety is creating a lot of unnecessary trouble in the world.
Yes.
This is very beautifully explained in this small sentence, and I'm very happy to read this book. The small country like Albania can teach the peace to the whole world. Last one. So that's how things are. Very confused and very different from the way they appear. So we think that things are okay, things are fine, things are sorted out, but it is not the truth. Even in the sorted of the most of the sorted atmospheres also, we find that there is confusion. We find that people are not actually sorted. So even if we find everything is fine, everything may not be fine, and that is where the potential for growth is. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining in with these books. We will be sharing the link to these books in the description. If you want to read this book, you please go through the books and read. And Soumya, you are free to wind up. You are free to tell the viewers what you want to tell.
Yes, I mean, I think what we learned from this is how every country has history. I think at some point or the other, however big or small the country is, they have gone through rough times, they have come out of rough times, and the world is currently also still going through rough times. And history,
It will continue.
It will always continue, and it has never stopped in the past as well. But I think learning from those experiences, stepping up your game as a country, working on what experiences you have had towards making it a positive community, positive society, positive practices, better
Improve
country.
the collective consciousness.
Definitely, I think that is what, and in fact, we also joked, right? In Switzerland, the poverty level is
20,000 Indian rupees.
20,000 Indian rupees.
If you are earning less than 20,000 Indian rupees, then you are poor.
Considered as below poverty line, and we were quite shocked to see
Because
that number.
many of the Indian healthcare employees, like nurses and all these people,
Physiotherapists,
they just
speech
get
therapists, they all get paid
20,000
20,000 rupees.
Because
And it's
then we
quite
should
shocking.
consider them as poor in terms of Switzerland.
Switzerland. So even if it's such a small country, well known for its Alps and all of that, it was quite interesting to know what contributes for it to be the happiest, well-educated, economically well established kind of a country, consistently has maintained that in for many years now. And of course, from Albania, I was quite surprised that even though we know so little and talk so little about it has such a vast history and contribution to how the whole world has
Albania is
made
very
and formed.
complex, very complex. It
And
comes in the Balkan region.
yes,
It comes in the
what
Balkan
powerful
region.
influence it has had.
Its neighbors, Turkey, and its neighbors in Greece, and there Serbia and Kosovo, and so many different
Yeah.
countries are there around it. Uh, there is a complex history to Albania. Both the books are actually they are different totally in
Yes.
taste.
I mean, this
but
is
they
something
provide
not we usually read, and we were quite happy that we chose this
have
book
chosen
review
this
and are doing this world.
But please, you people have to motivate us.
Yes, please contribute.
You people have
Please
to motivate
recommend.
us.
We will be more than happy.
Please interact with these videos, and we have
Let
to
us
go
know what you think.
another 102 countries.
Yes.
The next countries are.
So next week we will meet you again at a similar time on Sunday evening, and we are reviewing the
Norway.
second country in very high HDI and the second country in high HDI. So the second
It is
country in very high
Norway.
HDI is Norway,
And then
and Bulgaria is the
Bulgaria.
country that is second on high HDI. So we'll see which of us reads what. But
Possibly I'll be reading Bulgaria.
so
and
mostly
Sonia
Mayu will read Bulgaria and I'll be reading Norway. We've already chosen a book. It is quite interesting because that is, I think, more inclined towards even the neuroscience aspect of it.
There is a book from neuroscientist only we are going to
read. So we are quite excited about it. And the week after that, Mayu, you please
Iceland and Grenada. So you please recommend books to us in the comment section. Which Icelandic author we should read, which Grenadian author we should read. Then there is another next week also. Next week also I will tell Hong Kong versus Barbados. Hong Kong versus Barbados. So with that,
so these four
we leave
countries,
you
please.
to be the judge. We leave you to be the judge of
Both the
the books. Who is the winner? How much we could represent? We have represented the books, and we will improvise on this further. However, you choose whether you would like to create Switzerland as the winner or Albania as the winner. I have read Albania, so I will feel Albania has, more deeper wounds and more deeper ways of healing. Switzerland has been preventive.
I feel like it's an ideal country that we maybe have to learn from, and has lot of takeaways in terms of improvisation of our own life.
Thank you very much, Shiv Shankarji. You have been here and you are listening, and thank you very much for your positive comment. Thank you very much, and we will see you in few other videos. Please don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. We have to reach at least 1 crore fellow human beings to create that beautiful collective consciousness which we are dreaming about, and through which maybe we will be able to create a very beautiful and peaceful world with lesser wounds and more beautiful stories to tell. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Namaste.
Namaste.